The MAC Finder tool finds the MAC address of a system on the network corresponding to a specific IP address. It uses the logic of sending an ARP request packet and then capturing the sender MAC address value in the ARP reply packet. The detailed explanation of the code is provided now. The first line of code imports Scapy. The second line of code takes the destination IP address from the user using the command line. The third line creates an Ethernet header. The fourth line associates the source MAC address field in the Ethernet header with the Ubuntu system's MAC address. The fifth line of code associates the destination MAC address as broadcast. This is done because ARP request packets are broadcast packets. The sixth line of code creates an ARP header. The seventh line of code associates the opcode in the ARP header as 1, which signifies an ARP request packet. The eighth line associates the sender MAC address in the ARP request header with the Ubuntu system's MAC address. The ninth line associates the sender IP address in the ARP request header with the Ubuntu system's IP address. The 10th line associates the target IP address in the ARP request header with the IP address information provided by the user. The 11th line associates the target MAC address in the ARP request header as null. The 12th line appends, sends and receives the ARP request header along with the Ethernet header. The 13th line prints the sender MAC address value in the ARP reply packet which is received after the request packet is sent. The sender MAC address in the ARP reply header would contain the MAC address of the system corresponding to the specific IP address. Now we will demonstrate the functionality of the code. The code is executed from the Ubuntu system. The goal of the code is to identify the MAC address of the Windows 7 system based on its IP address. We start Wireshark on Windows 7 now. We apply a filter for ARP protocol and then start the capture. After the capture is started, we go back to the code and then execute it. Type in the command sudo python macfinder.py. The IP address here is the Windows 7 IP address. It can be observed that the MAC address of the device has been identified as 78843C0190AF. Now we go back to the Wireshark capture. We filter all the ARP packets. The first packet shows the ARP request packet which was sent by the code. The second packet is the ARP reply packet. The sender MAC address value in the ARP reply packet corresponds to the MAC address of the sender, which in this case is the Windows 7 system. It can be observed that the MAC address here is 78843C0190AF, which was the output displayed by the code.